and hopefully we should start to see some of you platformers coming in to join us as we get set for a platform sessions live. Okay, we're going to put the chat on, and hopefully we should start to see some of you there. So as you come into the live, yeah, just give us a little comment, let us know that you are there. So we're just going to wait for a few of you to come in and join us. Good, I can see some of you join us. Hiya, welcome along. Yeah, let me know in the comments. You'll see the comments. If you're new to a live stream in platform, really simple. It works in pretty much the same way as you would expect in a Facebook or a Zoom. You'll see the chat box to the side. I see Randy. How you doing, Randy? I think you signed up today. Welcome along, Randy. Welcome to How to Cut It platform. Great to have you here. And again, yeah, well, hopefully we'll get a few more coming in as the live begins to go. So we'll just sit tight and just hopefully wait for a few. But we are going to be recording this as well. So if you are watching this on catch up at a later point, just put catch up into the comments. So again, we'll just wait. Where are you based, Randy? Let us know. I think you know Francesca, don't you? Hence why you came in and signed up today. So let me know in the comments. The comments bar is great for bringing in the questions. Right. Okay. So we'll wait for people. I think people are going to join us as we begin to go along live. First up, my name's Dom Lehane, and we are the founder of the How to Cut It platform community, San Diego. Great. Love to get over there at some point. So yeah, we're the founder of How to Cut It, the host of the How to Cut It podcast. And How to Cut It platform was really born out of really giving a platform to bring in some of our leading content hair creators, people who are excelling in what they do in the career. We've got some amazing names in here, and a big part of what this means is that we do lives like you see right now. So this is live, going live, and we invite in some incredible guests to do some of their signature hair work, and hopefully to inspire you all with their ideas. And the beauty of this as well is because it's a live stream, we can bring in your questions. It's all very interactive, and think like you are sat there in the audience watching the hair artist on stage. That's exactly what a platform sessions live is. And tonight we are really truly honored to have Francesca Rivetti, as we all know, as one of the leading names in global hairdressing. Francesca, who is a award winner herself, North American Hairdressing Awards winner. I believe that's how you say it, is it NAHA? As well as, many other names and accolades to her profile. She is certainly leading the way when it comes to education. So we are in amazing company. I'm really excited to bring Francesca in. We're going to introduce, she's just waiting in the side there. So I think what we'll do, shall we bring her along? So Francesca, I think you're waiting. So please welcome into the screen, Francesca Rivetti. So let's bring Francesca in. In you come. Let's get you in. There we are. How you doing?
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Well, I think we're good. I think we've got Randy in the house here tonight,
hello,
Francesca.
Randy. Oh, Randy and I have a long history, and we've been in touch, and he's signed up, obviously, so now here he is. So thank you, Randy, all the way from San Diego. So I'm really excited to be here. We're going now, right, lovey? Yeah, okay. Really excited to be here. Okay.
Well, we're excited to have you here, Francesca. Firstly, and I just see Janet, and I see people starting to just join in here. We've got some lovely names. We've got Janet here from Pivot Point. Is that apologies if I get your name completely wrong here. It's a lovely name. Dieta, is that how I would say that? Dieta? Please, correct me. I am pretty poor sometimes on the names. We've got Cameron as well from Australia. Cameron's coming along. How you doing, buddy? He's based in Australia. What time are you there in Australia, Cameron? Let us know. It must be very early. But yeah, so we've got some people joining in now. Really excited for this. Francesca, before we do, and before I hand this over to you, I mean, so excited. You really are a leading name, aren't you, in the industry and what you do? Education's a real heartbeat of what you're all about.
Yeah, I've been doing hair for blah, blah, blah years, and I'm so much in love more with hair now than I ever have been. And I think that's what keeps me going. Is I just love to create. I have an immense respect for our classic foundation skills. And because I believe one of my favorite quotes is by Pablo Picasso, and that is to learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist with a Candy Crush.
Love it.
And yeah, so first of all, I want to say congratulations to Dom and How to Cut It platform. For those that don't know, the How to Cut It platform was voted the #1 hair podcast by the Hair Brained Society. So well done to you, Dom.
Thank you so much, Francesca. I wish I was over there, actually. It looked an amazing night.
It was.
But
It
yeah,
was a fun night.
unfortunately, family duties were calling with mother, unfortunately. But she's made a recovery. I was absolutely over the moon. And congratulations. You were a finalist as well, weren't you?
I was a finalist in the precision haircutting category. So I was super psyched about that. Didn't win, but that's fine. I loved every moment of it. And I got to meet Ben Brown. We were both in the same category as finalists. So it was great to be just amongst awesomeness and the creativity. You could just feel it. Oh, it was electrifying. It really was.
Cool.
So,
cool. Well, look, what we're going to do, I'm going to hand this over to you in a second, Francesca. What I will say to anybody watching, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the questions, and we'll kind of come in at different points. But really, I'm going to let Francesca lead this session. I'm going to go to the side, and I'm going to hand the stage over. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on your questions. So any questions, please get them in the chat box, all right? And we'll make sure that we put them to Francesca. All questions are good questions, all right? So do not be shy in doing any of that. So, yeah, if it's okay with you then, Francesca, I'm going to kind of hand it over to you, and I'm going to pop into the side. So the very best of luck, and I'll let you explain what we can expect tonight.
Thank you so much, Dom. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome from the UK, the US, and Australia. I'm honored. Thank you for joining us. I created a collection called Candy Crush. I don't know about you, hairstylists, but I love to name my collection. I just think it brings it more near and dear to your heart. It's like having a pet and not giving it a name. So I always like to give my collection a name. So if you haven't seen the collection, I'm not sure if Dom can bring the photos up, but I have the wigs here that I had created for the collection. So what I'm going to be spending time on today is allowing you to get in my head and share with you tips and tricks on how we created this collection for camera. Now, I'm emphasizing for camera because can these wigs be worn every day? A couple of them can, but one of them I don't think so much, and you'll understand why when we get into that. So Candy Crush is this collection. But every time I teach, I love to revisit the head shape. I teach the classic fundamentals. I have a course, a chemical reset, that's taking us back to our foundation. And I truly believe in my favorite quote that you learn the rules like a pro so we can break them like an artist. I hope you all agree with that. So the head is the canvas and the hair is the paint. So bum, and then I have my varnish to my side. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to revisit the head shape. Now, these are reference points that mean something to me. And the reason why I put these reference points in is because this is where I know where I can navigate around the head shape. So my reference points are the highest point of the head is the apex, the lowest point and the narrowest is the nape, and then we have the fringe area in the front, and that generally works from corner of eyebrow to corner of eyebrow, coming up into a triangle. And then we have the crest line. The crest line starts from the temple, goes across the parietal region, around the occipital, and back around the other side. So what it creates is a horseshoe-shaped section. Now, try and say that fast, horseshoe-shaped section. That's quite a tongue twister. Now, the reason why it's important to revisit this is because when we're cutting hair, this pertains to everything. Cutting hair, forward placement, creative updos, avant-garde, classics. Hair that falls below the crest line is hair that will always affect your perimeter shape. And hair that falls above the crest line is hair that affects your interior shape, like with your layering. I don't know about you, but I remember years ago, I would do a layered bob, and when I transitioned to the front, I'd go, oh, there's a hole there, and I couldn't figure out why. So we're just going to explore that real quick. There is such a thing as a big head. Yes, there is. I mean, I'm sure you have clients with big head. I'm sure you have clients with small heads. I do. And the reason why I bring this up is because the larger the head space, the more area we have to cover, which means the more sections we have to take and the more product we need to use. So I actually charge accordingly behind a chair for that reason, because the more area you have, the more force I'll end up putting in. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure the top of the head to the base of the neck, and that's about 8 inches. I'm going to measure ear to ear. And this is something that if you teach in your salon, you can, this is a great visual, and it's the reason why I like to share this part when I teach is because a lot of light bulbs go off. There's areas of the head shape that we totally forgot. I think it's something that doesn't get taught enough in schools. But then we go from the top of the ear around up to the other top of the ear. That's about 9 inches. Now, the interesting part is when we get to the front, from the ear forward. Oh, I'm saying it in inches, by the way. I know some of you are centimeters. I haven't got there yet. But look at this. This always just baffles me. From the top of the ear forward, do you see how much is there? About 2 inches. So all we see ourselves and all our clients see is what is in the front in those 2 inches. And I found that very interesting. So another area is what we call the transition area. This is a vital area to study and to really understand your sections. So sections for success. The reason why it's called transition is whatever sections we take in the back, we're going to have to transition it so that we don't get that void, that emptiness, that hole. But look at this is where the hairline ends at the top of the ear, and where it ends in the nape. That's about 4 inches. So that's 4 inches of nothing. There's absolutely nothing there. The hairline ends here, the hairline ends here. So we have to transition our section and our body positioning so that we avoid creating unexpected surprises such as those holes. So I hope that's enlightened some of us. And again, maybe it's a light bulb moment. Maybe, oh yeah, you forgot about that, because that's great. So next things we're going to work on now is going to work on with the wig. So this is a wig collection, and the base of the wig is the same. So we've got 3 wigs, and each one was cut into its shape, at least 75%, and then the extensions were added to emphasize the haircut. As a hairstylist behind the chair, if I have a client coming in with hair down here, and I know that I'm going to give her a graduated bob and lots of movement, I'm going to pre-cut it so that I then have a new shape to bounce from when I do my color placement. So on the model in real time, we wrapped her hair around the circumference of her head shape, making sure it fit really tight. We then added I like to use either a shower cap processing cap, and you'll see one in a minute, or you can, if you've got that cling film saran wrap, you could wrap that around the head as well. Next we're going to use is our wig sock, and these come in different colors. So does it matter which color you use? I think it depends on what you're using. When I did this collection, yes, I used a darker black wig sock. So now what we're going to do here is just make sure that fits. The reason why we're doing this way is because we're gluing hair extensions to the wigs. So I think she's about good right there. So if you can see that, that's what we're doing right now. So what we're doing is we're prepping the head. If this model had hair, I would be wrapping it around tight and then putting the 2 pieces on. So this is, actually I'm going to have my lovely assistant here. This is Madeline, say hi. So Madeline, we've known her for about 3 years. She is an amazing makeup artist. I adore her. And so she did the makeup for Candy Crush, the makeup for the reset, the makeup for. We did an underwater shoot last year, which came out amazing, and so it's awesome. And actually, she's actually going to go to cosmetology school soon.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to have her hold that. So this is how the wig comes. I just want to show you how the wig comes out of the bag. So you can see that it is kind of like a bob shape, layered slightly, not a lot, not really a lot of layers. So this is what I want to show you. Actually, I think this one's actually longer than the wig that I used on these. So we used 3 wigs on that. This is definitely longer. So now, you know, what we're seeing is a lot of layers, one layer, sorry. A lot of one layer. I'm trying to just get her to stay still. There we go. Let's just give her a spin. So what we're going to do now, this is a tip and a trick. We're going to put the wig on upside down. So this is the only wig out of the collection that I wouldn't say you could really wear because of the back of the wig. The reason we did this was because you can see that this already gives it. And then what Madeline is doing is we're using a chin strap. I highly recommend using a chin strap when you're working with wigs on your models, your clients, because you need that to keep it secure in place. We talked about head shape earlier. Now, our model for the Candy Crush was Amelia, and this is Amelia here. And Amelia has a wider head shape. So every time you place these wig stands are a lot smaller, so they're not fitting as well. So just show you that as a reference. So can you see now by doing it, I'm actually going to just pull it back and hold on to her neck. Oh, there we go. We're going to pull it back a little bit. So now what we've got is, you can see now we've got that shag look happening. But we need to go in and define it a little bit more. Define and refine. Just getting that out of the way. And again, remember, this was created for camera. It wasn't created for every day, you know, going to your shopping and go to work. Now, when I do my collections, Dom had mentioned about NAHA. NAHA is a North American Hairdressers Award, of which I am a finalist. Five times nominated and 1 time winner. It's a North American Hairdresser, which is also known as NAHA. It's the US's equivalent to UK's British Hair Awards. Now, their categories only require 3 models in most of the categories. There's only a couple that require 5. Unlike I know with BHS, I think it's 8, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot. I mean, coming up with 3 looks sometimes is enough, right? So what I do when I do a collection, so you can see why we wouldn't actually have her go out like that. That's the back of the head. So what I do with the collection, I always think of the layout. What will it look like to the audience when people see it? How is the collection going to look? So when I work with 3 looks, I'm always thinking, well, one needs to be like a center point and a focal point, and then you've got 2 bookends. So if you look at this collection here, Reset, the halo is all about the front for the halo, which is the middle. So that to me was obvious that needed to be in the middle, that look. This is all about the C word. We have to use the C word, and I mean communication. We need to communicate with the model, the makeup artist, and definitely the photographer, so that we know going in that we are going to capture the side. These are angled haircuts, so we definitely need a semi-profile so that we can see the line. Whereas this one is all about the front, so that one worked perfect. When the layout for the Candy Crush was just like this. We've got this one on semi-front, and this one definitely needed to be a full side view, because if you can see, I don't know if you can see, I'll bring it up over. There's actually 3 inset lines, 3 steps that we cut. So this had to be shown from the side. Now, because I knew we were doing this side, we didn't do the other side, because there was no need to do the other side when we knew exactly 100% we were working on this side. So I'm going to go in with my razor and I'm going to start to give her a bit more shape before we start adding some color and dimension with the extensions. To me, the haircut and hair color go together. It's like a marriage. And a haircut can go either one way. You can keep it very classic, but you can also take a classic shape and make it look funky, depending on your color placement and your color choices. So I think any haircut can go either way. You can have a really strong shag, but it can look less funky if it's more like a monochromatic color, like a global color, or you can take it to different extremes. So we're going to just pull that down a bit more. You can see now we've already got that silhouette. Like I was saying earlier, the wigs that we used for these were actually shorter than this one. I can't remember where I got those from, to be honest, and I ordered this quickly the other day. So what we're going to do is come through. I want to soften this fringe. So I'm going to take my razor and I'm using a penciling technique with the razor. Already we can see the hair starting to soften. I'm going to focus more on one side, and that way I can show more one side of how we created this look. Because right now the layers are quite long. When I hold the hair up from where the apex would be, it's pretty much one length until you get to the very perimeter edge. So we really want this to look a little bit more choppy. And I don't know if Dom can bring up any of those images. That would be great.
So the image is the one that you shared with me, Francesca. Is that the one you?
The one from Candy Crush.
Yeah. So I've only got the one that you shared earlier. So.
I think I sent them to Samantha.
Let me see. I'll see if I can find those.
Okay. So you can see this. What we're doing here is softening the weight, and it's very visual. You know, I find when I cut hair dry, it's visual. That doesn't mean to say that I don't respect the hair and not taking a lot of factors into account. I know where this hair is living and landing, so I know that, you know, with this technique that I'm doing. I also use the approach I call eye line to action line, so it's called hair chi. Hair chi is like the practice of positive posture. So always stand in an A-frame and then rock side to side or front to back. So right now you can see I'm coming down and really using my body to work the haircut. Now this makes a lot of sense, right? The chin strap. I guarantee if we didn't have that on, the wig would probably be flying all over the place. This is synthetic hair, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. So the downside of that is you have to be really mindful on how much heat or what kind of heat that you use with it. So when we styled our wigs, what we did was we actually used the steamer. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in and I'm going to clip this hair out of the way. I'm going to focus on this side. Because what we want to do now is add some extensions in here. I'm going to follow, actually, if you can see where the line is of the wig. So I'm going to follow some of that. So what I need is a hair piece, and I think, pick a color, and then that's going to be, so we're going to start off with this lovely wild lime green, and I'm going to really marry that up through here. So what you're seeing here is you're seeing the distance between the tracks of the wig. So they're spacing. So that's where I'm going to put the wig, the piece. Okay, actually that fits perfect. I'm going to give that back to Manu, she's going to glue it for me. I'm using regular glue gun, but for some reason we're using the black one because the black one is what we used last time. It's still in the glue gun. So it comes in different, you know, it's so great now because you can find glue sticks in so many different colors. You know, before it was just like those little clear ones. And also the glue guns come in different sizes. Now, if I was doing this on, even when we did it on the model's head, we did that as well. We used the glue gun. We just made sure that, you know, we didn't get the extension right on the scalp. So what we're going to do is
I've got one of them images that it's got the free looks on there. Do you want me to share them for you?
yeah, it's the Candy Crush, lovey.
Yeah, that's right. I'll bring that up.
Thank you. Now, because of doing a live, we're not going to be using. Oops, we need to do that again. Is it on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're not going to be using a hairdryer because of the live, but if you run into a challenge where it's not sticking, a tip is to hold it there and get your hairdryer and run the hairdryer across, so that it will then just give it a little bit more melt.
Okay, I've just brought it up, by the way, Francesca, on the screen.
Awesome.
So I don't know if you want to talk around that there.
Yeah.
There's three looks.
Yes, thank you, Dom. So the one to my right, when you're looking at it, with the glove, she's got a finger in her mouth. That is what we're replicating today. Is that showing you how we did that look? And the other two, and you can see now with the one in the middle, what I was mentioning, how you can see those 3 steps in the haircut. So that's great. All right, so now let's get another piece in as well. So I think I saw somebody ask, why did I call it Candy Crush? I think I saw that question. Dom, was that correct?
Yep, you did.
Okay. I thought I saw that. I like to name my collections, and Candy Crush is like, you know that game Candy Crush, it's just full of those bright gems that you have to pair up and eliminate and drives you bonkers. That was what this collection reminded me when we were putting, you know, designing it and putting it together. So that's going to go in here. Before we glue it in, we want to just check to make sure we like the placement of it. And this is really the same as when we're doing hair in the salon. You know, when you were adding a foil, that's why to me I think the haircut is first, and then the color is secondary in the sense of how we place the color, which direction we place the color in, so that it works and flows with the haircut. Because I really believe that a color can really pop your haircut and take it to a whole different level. And I love to do both. You know, so behind the chair, that's what I do. I do both. So I am finding my opening here. So again, if I bring her forward, you can see that's quite an opening. And we're going to, look at that, just a second. So yeah, we definitely want to talk about the placement of your collection when you're doing a photo shoot. It's all about the C word. It's about communicating with your photographer, your makeup artist, and if you're using a designer as well. I'm going to have you come in. So here's Madeline again. I'm going to have you pop it right in there. And this is exactly what we did last time. It was the two of us working together. So it's definitely teamwork. Even though Madeline is a makeup artist, you know, she helps out with the hair and I help out with the makeup. Awesome. So now, before we decide what we're going to do next, we're going to push it around and see, oh yeah, how does that look? Really nice, yummy, yummy. So now you can see the haircut coming alive. Let's put something in here. So in here to the side, I'm taking a diagonal section, a diagonal forward section. Let me just get this. There we go. The diagonal forward section. I'm going now, because of the way the extensions have been put in, this is going to be a little bit different, but that's okay because we'll work with that. It's like when you're doing a foil in the salon, if you put a horizontal foil right in the front parietal area, then you can see the line, especially when it grows out. So a soft diagonal or a fast forward diagonal, I can't get my words out today. So the way that we styled these wigs was with a steamer. And I'm not going to pop it on now because it's quite loud, but the way that we did this look here, if you can see this one, I used a steamer to dampen the hair, and then I blow dried with a blow dry and a brown brush, and round brush that, and then clipped it in so that it set the hair. And then we'll take that out in just a sec. So these were cut, these were pre-cut first. The extensions were placed. And then we went in and cut again after the extensions were placed. So it blends in with the haircut of the wig, or the haircut of your client if you're doing it on your client. I think we need a bit more over here.
Francesca, I just want to ask you a quick question because it's coming to my mind as the wigs. What are the brand of wigs that you're using, and how important is it with the quality of the wigs that you use?
That's a great question. I don't know the brand because these I bought from this like a massive warehouse that sells wigs, and then I couldn't find them again. So what I did was I just took a screenshot and then popped it in, and it popped up on Amazon. And I just bought this recently. I mean, I'm happy to share the link if there's a way that we can share that afterwards, Dom. I can share that with anyone to do that. But the base of the wig is this kind of dusty pink color, which I really liked. I felt that was a good neutral base to work from. And that's really been the base. But what we want to talk about is how did we also create the shadow root? If you look at this one, I'm just going to bring this one again. You see how now we have a shadow root to make it look more natural? We're going to talk about that as well. All right, so that's perfect in. So now let's drop this, brush that down, have a look-see, see what's going on. You can really see it coming to life now, right? Oh, look at that, love it there. So let's have some fun. I'm gonna get my scissors and I'm going to go in now and I'm going to slide through to work with those layers. So now it's gonna look, they're not gonna look like just strands laying there. This, we did cut the wigs on the model, which really helps. If your model can't be present for whatever reason, I would definitely ask for their head dimensions so that then you can then buy those wig forms. I don't know if you have the wig form, they're like cork, you can buy a wig form and they come in different sizes. Because if you do this on a smaller head, then it's going to have to stretch onto a larger head, if that makes sense. So again, now I'm working around, pushing the hair around, seeing where we want this to lay. Every time we take a section and cut, we have to let it fall into place. You know, the hair, every single follicle lands and lives somewhere in the head shape. We have to always remember that. So when I pick this up, that's not going to stay like that. That's going to fall down and it's going to stay framing the frame. So then I've got to think, well, how is that going to look? Is that going to be too short? Is that going to be too long? Again, it's all visual. I'm going to actually
Francesca, sorry, I'm just jumping in there actually. Edietta has just said, are you working on natural hair or synthetic?
Oh, great question, Lovey. It's synthetic. These are synthetic wigs, which is why I would not use heat. And the way I style them is I use the steamer, the clothes steamer. This thing, and again, I'm not going to put it on because it's quite loud, but you know, you can go over this, see all these kinks sticking up. I think actually maybe I will just switch on. Can we just switch on for a minute? Because I think it would be a good effect. I mean, wigs, like human hair wigs, you know, they run into the hundreds to work with a human hair. So I've worked with both. I've worked with companies that claim that their wigs are 100% human hair. Then you put an iron on it and it starts frying. Clearly not 100% human hair. But you can see now how this is really coming together. Just going to go like I'm going to fan this out, bend my fingers and really go in and soften this way. So what we're doing here, you can see that it's like a kettle. Is it time for tea? Well, you know, in England, it's always time for tea, right?
You bet. Always ready for a cuppa.
It's always time to put the kettle on. So can you see, let me bring it closer. So if you can see, I'm steaming it and it really flattens everything out so nicely. And then you would let it sit and let it dry overnight. Or if I wanted a bend in this, like we did with the first look, we then can go in while it's damp and use a blow dryer and then add the movement, the curl, and gosh, thank you.
Francesca, I just want to ask, how long have you been working with wigs, and what was your entry into working with wigs? How did you learn to work with them?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because I've got tired of models not letting me do what I want to do. That's the bottom line. You know, you'll find a gorgeous model, gorgeous face, but you know, obviously if they're assigned to an agent, you get it. You know, they have to have a certain look. So I just kind of like organically morphed my way into using wigs, and I learned a lot along the way. And what I learned was, if you can have the model present so that you can cut it to fit that model, and also the color placement of it. There's only so much you can do at that point before it's the day of the shoot, and then you will end up doing a lot more refining and defining. But that's how I started. I got frustrated with people, models telling me, I can't do that. And I was like, but I want to do that. So I started to get into the wigs, and now it doesn't bother me when I see a nice face and I want to work with them. I'm not bothered. I can make a wig. You know, that's the way I go. Let's see. Let's pop one more in here. Did that answer your question? Love it?
Yep, it certainly did. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. And now we're going to cut that in half. We're going to put like a nice orange one in here. Then we'll cut it in half. You know, I've worked for manufacturers where we had the luxury of a budget. And if anybody's worked with manufacturers, you know what I mean. I mean, we've used like wigs that cost like a couple of grand each for that. So there is always that as well. But when I do my wigs, I don't have that budget. So I make it work. These wigs here, synthetic, and they were $20 each. What I did was then I cut it on the model so that we got the precise look, and then used the steamer. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see the reset pinned at the top, because I have the Reset Academy that I do, and Reset 1 is the line work, and it's all about mastering and revisiting the foundations of the line work.
I'm going to ask you another question.
Yeah, I love questions, by the way.
Yeah. How regularly will you get to use these wigs in a collection? Is it just one shoot and that'll be it? They're redundant then?
Yeah, so no, I love recycling, and this is one of the reasons why I did the wigs with extensions, because most of these extensions are actually, I'll show you, I have a bag full of extensions. Some of them are real hair, some of them are synthetic, I can't remember, so I had to do like a test with the flat iron. But I always try and repurpose what I have before I go and spend money, because even buying inexpensive hair can still cost money when you need a lot of bundles of them for the look. So, and then sometimes I put them in display, like my window has a collection that I call Tapestry, that I was nominated for NAHA. It's a woven collection that I did. It's in the window. It gets so much love. I mean, people stop all the time to look at the collection. People even want to buy them, that's right. I've had people come in, can I buy that? I'm like, no. I mean, unless they offered me 10,000.
You were using a razor earlier. I see you using scissors now.
Yes. I mean, it's either or. You can use either or. Sometimes I find the scissor quicker, to be honest. in certain ways. I don't know if there's a lot of razor, and maybe, to be honest with you, I think my blade may be dull. In fact, I think it is.
I love a bit of honesty. You can't beat a bit of honesty.
So you
What's
can
your
see,
razor, by the way? Because people are always keen to know about the tools
yes.
that you use.
You know, this hair, because it's synthetic, it will dull your razor, your blade very quickly, especially that we're doing it dry. But I don't know, for me, I wouldn't even challenge doing this on wet hair. Because when you wash these synthetic wigs, they're not always the best. You know, they can change texture quite rapidly. But I've even bought wigs that claim to be 100% human hair, and I shampoo them and they shed. I'm like, there's no hair left. So you just kind of make it work. So I just did like reset 2 is all about shape shifting. So it's moving from the graduation to, moving from the line work, which we're seeing here, to graduation. So I've done, you can't see them as over in the corner, but I found white, very light white wigs, and it's very, you can bring, but you have to be very gentle, because those things, these look great, but they're not very sturdy. So I just wanted to show you one side of how this looks, to give you an idea. So hopefully this is going to give you some inspiration. You can do this for your client. You know, now you can get all the taping extensions, which are amazing. So if a client doesn't want to commit, then introduce that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop this down. I'm going to, this is my, if you can see, this is the classic graduation, the line, I call it shape shifting, because now we're shifting from one length to graduation. So this is the class I'm doing in a couple of months. And then I'm going to have Madeline come over with her makeup. So what we did here at the shoot, if you look at the top, you can see that the extension comes right from the scalp. We wanted it to look a little bit more organic and a bit more lived in. So this is what we did. We used makeup. Was it regular powder or cream?
Yeah, so right now I'm using the Danessa Myricks
So there you go.
Color Fix. They're just liquid pigments. I find it works better than powder. It's just easier to put on the hair. And I like to mix it together so it's not a pure
So I'm going to, let's see if I can bring her down a little bit, and we'll get a bit closer so that they can see a bit closer. So I'm now going to be Madeline's assistant. So what the goal is now is to work from the root and then shadow, it's like a shadow root is what we're doing. And it makes a huge difference. Again, if you look at the pictures on my Instagram, or even on my profile on How to Cut It platform, if you're a pro, it's there. But every one of them has a shadow root. It makes it look just more natural.
Oh, stunning.
Thank you. And then, let's see, how does that work? Yes, so you can see now how that is starting to look, right? Isn't that awesome? I love these simple tips and tricks. That's what I love. That's what I'm about. I'm about creating something that looks like I spent all day on, but I've done it in like 20 minutes or half an hour. You know, I always said that, you know, behind your chair as a stylist, if you're doing an updo for a special occasion and it's going to take you 3 hours, then you need to revisit your techniques. You're using the wrong techniques, because you need to find techniques that are really fast and effective, that when people look at it, they go, wow, how did you do that? And I did that like in 15 minutes, because those are the techniques that you've mastered. And while we're talking about that, I'm going to do a little bit more though. You know, when I do my classes, I'd like to touch on what is the difference between experience and what is the difference between mastering. But I think experience is how long we've been doing something. But for me, mastering means that you've done that repeatedly over and over and over again, that you can't fault it at all. That's what I call mastering. That is why I'm very passionate about the reset, the line work, and also the graduation, because most of us get lost because we forget about our foundation. And the foundation is like a safety net. It's always something we can go back to. But from that, we evolve. Every client that leaves your chair, that either leaving with a one length shape, some graduation, or some layering, or a combination of all three. And that's what's so beautiful about our world of hair, is that we do speak a global language. You know, if we are all taught that. Unfortunately, here in the States, it's very different. Hairdressing, the cosmetology school, they have to pass the state board exam, and that's pretty much it. They don't get a lot of hair cutting time. It's definitely not explained in depth, like the theory of it. And I truly believe that if all hairdressers, regardless of how long you've been doing it, took themselves back and do a class, whether if it's a reset with me or wherever you want to go, so that you can reground yourself. And then I think things will start to look a bit clearer, and things will come to you more easily, because every haircut you can break up. Well, that's one length here, but there's layering here. Oh, and there's some graduation over here. So, you know, I do believe that learn the rules like a pro, so that we can break them like an artist. And this is what we're doing here. You can even drag that down a bit more.
Oh yeah. Gotta make some more color.
So you can see now what a difference that's making, right? Look at that, even I'm far away, but you can see now that we've got some shadow work. So this look was definitely a semi-profile, which again, we don't have the picture, but it was definitely a semi-profile shot. So that is why this wig, I wouldn't recommend that you wear out, because we turned it upside down or back to front, whichever way we want to look at it. There you go. So I'm going to let Madeline do a little bit more there. I'm actually going to move you closer to here. There you go.
There you go.
Perfect. Yeah, so, you know, this is how we create the canvas. Oh, I want to show you this one here. Let me see if we can actually do the move just a little bit down. All right, so what we did on this one is we used the steamer, got that wet, and then round brushed it. So look how nice that came out. It sets it beautifully. And then we take the brush and then we brushed it through. So again, when you look at that picture, you've got a really nice, strong wave action happening, kind of like so. So that was kind of what was going on with it. And this one, I just love all the colors. It reminds me of like sherbet.
The creativity is endless, isn't it? What you can do with wigs. And I guess
yes.
because of the texture of that, Francesca, does it give you more, creativity in what you can do, in how you can move the hair and position it? It has more hold, bit more grit to it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Well, I think it does present challenges when you're working with wigs, and especially I think synthetic, because you have to be very mindful of what you use heat-wise with it. And even some synthetic hair, actually some synthetic wigs are actually quite nice. They feel nice. And I would go with that. Some of them are like that really wiry coarseness. I would not go with that, because that is not going to move. At least these, they have movement almost like real hair. And that's what I liked about these wigs.
I've got to just ask you about the head clamps that you've got them on. I've never seen them where you can have 3 of them on.
So am I allowed to say where I got them from?
Yeah, of course, it's no problem.
Okay, so I saw them. Is the lady from Pivot Point still on?
Yeah, Janet is always on, but Janet's super cool.
Okay, so Janet, I know Pivot Point have these, and I remember seeing them years ago. I was like, wow, they're amazing. What a great idea. But I'm sorry, when I looked at the price, it was a little steep for me at the time. And I just saw these on that the site called Temu, and so I was like, wow. So I ordered them, because I think visually when you're teaching, it's awesome, because now you can put your collection together, and show it as a collection, which looks really nice. So I think it's great. They're not they're sturdy, but they're not. So you've got to like.
And not of the Pivot Point quality, but Janet's just said she has one.
Janet, yes. Now I don't feel so bad.
No, but I highly recommend always for Pivot Point.
Yeah,
so yeah, it just visually looks good. But while we're on that question of your education, you're doing Sync in Italy, aren't you? Very soon.
Oh God, yes. God, how can we
Yeah,
forget
maybe you could
Italy?
just share with us what this is, and I may
Yeah.
just bring up a screenshot as well as you tell us on
Sure. Awesome. So, if anybody knows me, you'll know I love Italy. I love the culture. I love the food. I love the vino. I love the men. I just love Italy. And I love doing photo shoots. So, a friend of mine that lives in Umbria planted the bug in my ear like 18 months or so ago. And this is the collection that we created. So, the event is called A Hairstylist Creative Escape Eat, Play, Learn. It's 5 days of absorbing the culture. It's 3 mornings of hair art education. So where we make all the pieces that we have collectively decided on the theme of the shoot. It's open to 6 hairdressers only. I have 2 that have signed up. And regardless of level of experience, we're not doing cuts, we're not doing color. This is about playtime. It's like playtime, getting the hair out. Like when you see the one in the middle with all the waves, we created those waves, we painted those waves. So it's 3 mornings of hair art. Friday all day is the photo shoot with the models, photographer, the makeup artist, and then us as the hair team. We go on the cooking class together. That was so much fun. And then we go wine tasting. We went to this awesome place, like 20 minutes outside of Florence in the Tuscan Hills at a winery. And it was fantastic. And we had, it was just such a great bonding moment. And then I also had hired a tour guide to take us for a walk around the center of Florence, especially for those that have never been. They got some history. Then you have 2 afternoon and evenings to do what you want, because Florence has everything. I mean, art, if you're, the museums, the art is so inspiring, the restaurants, the boutiques, just walking around the streets and just taking it all in is amazing. So we did it last year and I can't believe we did it. I was like, pinch me, pinch me, pinch me. Is this really happening? We got the collection published, which we called, collectively we named it Graffiti Vita, which means a graffiti life. And it's stunning, absolutely stunning. In fact, one of the participants, she actually is from Philly. I popped in her salon the other day and she's had them blown up on her salon wall and they just look incredible. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. So the trip includes like every night, I think 6 nights in the hotel with breakfast, and it includes a welcome dinner and a goodbye dinner as well. And then what we do is 2 months before we go, we start Zooming so everybody gets to meet each other. We start talking about the theme because all the material is included as well. You literally just have to bring yourself. So I need to know, like, I have to have a vague idea of what we're doing so that I'm not going to, come to Italy with 20 suitcases. I need to, like, narrow it down. But if you're interested in coming, we'd love to have you. It's September the 15th through the 20th of this year in Florence, in Italia, beautiful Italia.
And how do we do that? How do we access? How do we book our place?
So if you go to my website,
Which we have up
francescarivetti.com.
here. I believe we've already put that
Awesome.
in.
And right on that front page, if you just scroll down, you'll see it's there. And then you can sign up, you can pay your deposit, and then we go to there. But email me so that we can go through it together. And yeah, we would love to have you. You can come from wherever you are in the world. It's not solely for America. It can be, Brits, it can be Aussies. If you want to join us, we'd love to have you. We're keeping it small because we really want to keep that intimacy of a nice, tight team. And the energy on the day, we were in tears. It was just amazing. Like, the whole week was incredible. And I still get goosebumps talking about it. So, hey, we're going back.
I've got a question here. Randy's just put a question in. Do you enter the group photo shoots into other photo shoot contests? Great question, Randy.
Great question, Randy. And because this event last year was September and NAHA had changed their dates for deadline, and the deadline to enter was when we were in Italy. However, now that we have it, I am going to consider submitting it for next year in, say, the editorial category. And yes, I've already submitted it to a couple of others right now. So we're just waiting to see what comes. But yeah, like I said, it definitely is the gift that keeps on giving.
I've got to ask you a question about the Naha. I didn't call it Naha. I didn't know that's how you pronounce
Naha,
it.
naha.
Naha. Yeah, that's much easier. So you won the Naha. Which category did you win?
I won editorial back in, oh my God, I don't know, 04, 04. Well, I got the things over there, the awards over there. And then the following year got nominated in two categories, editorial again, and then classic, contemporary classics, which I really did a collection of like spun off of the
Yeah, look at that.
classic line.
Thank you. Demonstrating that beautifully.
Oh, you're doing a good job, Madeline. So this is it
Alan,
from,
you're
what's
rocking
the
that
same
there.
year?
That is a
1, 2, 3.
lovely, lovely trophy, isn't it?
Is it
And
beautiful? It's so nice. And then, I mean, I enter almost every year, Dom, because I love doing photo shoots. So what that does to me, the Naha, it just gives me like kick to do a photo, at least one photo shoot a year. But last year, we did a few, and I don't know how we banged it out before I left to go to Italy. It was incredible.
Francesca,
We did 2 shoots.
I've got to ask. Sorry, I just jumped in there, but your enthusiasm and passion for everything that you do and the industry. How do you keep that, and how do you keep yourself really excited by it?
Yeah, this is me. It's part of who I am. I've been like this. I mean, Randy, I don't know who else is on here, but he's known me forever because we used to both work for Graham Webb International. I've always been an upbeat, positive person. I get excited. Like, you have to find what excites you, what fuels you from within. And only you will know what that is, whether if it's photo shoots, whether if it's coloring, whatever that is, and then focus on that. Because if that's what fuels you, then why not focus on that and do it more often? Because then you're going to feel even more amazing, aren't you? You're even more excited. If you do something that excites you, do it more often. Make it part of your life.
Edietta just said, where do you get your inspiration from?
Good question. So I'd like to quickly talk about creativity. So we all have muscles, right? So would you agree we all have muscles? But if we go to the gym, what happens? Our muscles get firm, don't they? But if we stop going to the gym, they get a little bit on the jiggly side. I feel that everybody is creative. We all have a creative muscle, but some of us it's more than others because the more you explore that creative option, I think the more your ideas will come to you. And like I'll be walking down the street and I'll see something. It could be, I don't know, cracks in the pavement that will give me some kind of inspiration. Or the seasons when they change, food gives me inspiration. Years ago, I used to call my color work after food, like brie and wine and cheese. I used to do this color where it was burgundy underneath and then like a brie color at the top, or 3 different shades of blonde, like when you look at brie. So the inspiration, it's a question I get asked a lot, and it's one of those questions that is, you can't just nail it because it's something that, again, you'll look at something and you feel it. Today, we have so many outlets that we can explore, like everything is available to us online. Everything is available online. Now, back in the 70s and the 80s, we didn't have that. So I think we looked within more. But now, and honestly, to be honest with you, I don't like creating too many storyboards. I don't like going to Pinterest and finding all this stuff because it's all amazing. And then I lose my path. I lose my way. Then, oh, I want to do that. And then I want to do that. Then it's not me doing it. It's like I'm just kind of like taking from everything, which I know that's what we do when we create our inspiration boards. But I try and make things my own for me. I hope that helps. But every day we're creating, no matter what we're doing, we're always creating. Even when you have, your regular client that comes in at the weekend, you shift her fringe one way to the other. Well, now you've created something new. Start working that muscle. Start looking at everything. Okay, well, how can I do that different? Even if you start behind the show with your client, you've done a blow dry. Think to yourself, well, what can I do that will switch that up a little bit?
Yeah,
And
I
start
think
there.
I like what you just said as well. Not to over start your brain can take in too much, can't it? You look too many places, and it kind of blurs your line. I think it's also being true to who you are as well with inspiration and
right.
Sometimes because it's no point doing stuff, I guess, Francesca, if it's not you.
Exactly. That's my point. I think sometimes I find it overwhelming when I look at Pinterest or whatever, or Instagram, because then I'm like, oh, then I feel like then I'm copying rather than doing. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, ideas come to me more freely now because I think it's because I've exercised that muscle so much. And I'm not afraid. And you know what? I'm not afraid. Don't be afraid of hair. Don't be afraid. If you're afraid of something, then figure that out. And maybe you need to remaster those tools. Maybe you need to reacquaint yourself with those tools or reacquaint yourself with that technique to the point where you build confidence, because it is about confidence. Confidence is key. And I'm really easy, quick and easy to dive into a haircut. But if I stop and think and allow that fear to start building up, then it's almost like I don't know what I'm doing completely.
Well, look, I think just sort of coming towards the end of a superb session. I could listen to you all day, Francesca. I mean,
well, I'd love
again,
to come
I feel
back.
so honoured that we're doing this in How to Cut It platform. I have such wonderful guests, and you know, I had Anvek who delivered an amazing session, and now yourself. You know, people at the top of the game, and I just think, you know, this is truly honoured to have this kind of this education, and what we see there, it's just really, really motivates so many people. It gets me motivated when you see stuff, and that's when you know you're being educated really well. Edietta just said again, she just had one more question actually. She's just said, have you tried to enter for Avant-Garde?
Oh yes, I've been nominated. How many times have I gone? Twice, 3 times? Twice. Yeah, I did a mop collection. Oh, is the postcard over there somewhere? I did a mop collection. And if we have a minute, I'd like to really touch on how this. Oh, where did it go?
We'll give you a couple of minutes to touch upon this. By the way, everybody's just saying thank you and a great session.
Oh no, that was. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here, everyone. I really appreciate. I know time is of the essence for all of us, but I'm really excited. We just found I think like 2 weeks notice that I was doing this. I was so excited to do this.
Yeah, I'd love to bring you back to do more, Francesca, as well, because
yeah.
you know, I think it's just so good to get you in, and to have a world-class educator delivering is, you know, I have to pinch myself sometimes saying, yeah, we've got Francesca Rivetti here.
Well, I love to share, so I love to teach. If anybody wants to bring me to their salon, or we can do something online on Zoom, I am there to do it. So yeah, and Madeline, I think it may be on.
Yeah, Madeline.
So
Thank you so much to Madeline as well, who's been helping you out there to the
Madeline,
top.
I know she's a.
Come and take it down, Madeline.
Let me just bring Madeline on camera. She can say a quick few words.
Hi. Oh, it's great working with Francesca. She's done so much for me. You know, I'm really young in this stuff, so she's shown me that I can actually do this as a career and have a great time doing it. So she's really a mentor to me. I
love your style, by the way, Madeline. I think you've got a real. There's a punk element going on there, isn't there?
Oh, it's different every day, so I appreciate
I think that look really does rock. But thank you so much for doing this and joining us with Francesca. It's been great.
But can I just tell you as well, you'll never see the same look twice. I'm floored, and I adore her so much. But I do. She's an amazing soul, and I'm not kidding you. Every time I see her, completely different. But you should check her Instagram out as well. I think we'll have to tag it somewhere. I don't know if you want to mention it.
Yeah, it's just Synthetics Effects. I do a lot of SFX makeup.
Cool. Well, I'll put all these links in after the live as well, so people.
Madeline loves to do. So this was the mop collection. Real quick, if I can just touch on this.
Let me just put that focus on you. Let me take me out of the mix. Okay. Go on. You go again. Oh, not me.
Oh, not you. This is the mop collection. So a few years ago, I don't know why, but I had like 3 commercial mops down in the basement. And I actually called a designer friend to see if he wanted, because he works with a lot of different textiles, but he wasn't interested. I took the mop out and I literally just threw it and it landed on the mannequin. And I was like, oh. So this is where I got this inspiration. It's actually 3. If you go to my website, you'll definitely see it there. It's definitely on my Instagram. And it landed, but not in the way that I created, but it definitely gave me inspiration to create this collection. And we got Avant-Garde for Naha with this. And it was when we took this shot, when she did that, the whole team screamed, and we knew that was the money shot right there.
That is pretty awesome. I have to say, that is
So
pretty awesome.
just saying, like, even from like, you know, stuff that you use every day, like a mop, you can create it into something else.
Love it, love it. Well, look, it's been a fantastic, as Edietta says, true artist. You truly are. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come and do this. It's been a real pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
And
been a pleasure too.
Yeah, well, thank you, and great looks. Keep rocking it, and peace out to you guys over there.
Yay, bye.
All right, good night to you all. Good night, good night, good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wunderbar. Yes, that was good.
Are we still on? Oh, wait, I can't wait to see it afterwards and see what people say. Thank you. Ending.